everybody, back with Texas Lennox. Earlier today I played a chess tournament. You guys may know that. But now I'm just going to do another analyzation. Let's call it Analyzation 2. Well, Alapin Defense Game Analyzation 2. Let's get right in. Before I start the video, please like and subscribe. Just trying to get to 100 subscribers. And yeah, let's go. So this game started off with E4. Yeah, just basically just control the center. Very common move. Many of you see it, and like this, we're gonna learn about the Alapin. So that happens after C5, the Sicilian, C3. From the earlier video, you do know that after this move, we played D5. We already looked at this, but just to remind you, the main point of this move is to strike in the center as fast as possible and get lots of development at the cost of a pawn because C3 prohibits the knight's access to C3, so it can't really develop that much. So yeah, like I said in the other video, you can't not take the D5 pawn because any other move is a complete disaster and all lead to black winning. So E takes D is the most common move. And so yeah, knight f6. We're just trying to attack the D5 pawn, make him try to do some other moves. And if you first of all, if he lets us get the pawn back immediately, we're just better and we have what we need to do. So yeah, and we looked at bishop to B5 check. He's trying to develop his bishop with tempo and not get his bishop trapped after C4. Of course, we play knight B to D7, just blocking the knight, blocking the check, developing the knight, and just getting ready to if he ever doesn't pin our pawn on our knight, we can just defend the C5 pawn. So yeah, he plays C4. He's basically saying, okay, I will defend the D5 pawn. I will defend the B5 bishop. I'm doing everything. I'm up a pawn. Yay, right? No. A6. We are forcing his bishop to make a choice. Either run away and we get a great position after B5 or he played bishop takes D7 and losing the bishop pair. We're going to look at bishop takes D7 check. Now, like I said in the other video, we take back with the queen. We don't want to take back with the knight, of course, because taking back with the knight, we're just retreating our knight. We're trying to get ahead in developing in this game. We don't take back with the bishop because we want our queen to guard the E6 square, and our bishop's later going to develop the other squares, and that's going to be a waste of a tempo. And we don't check with the king, take back with the king because, well, we want a castle. So he plays, and this is the different move. He plays queen E2. He is trying to pin our E7 pawn. So if we play E6, he's pinning it, so he doesn't have to take immediately. So then we play a very interesting move, B5. B5 is a very interesting move. As you can see right here, the interesting move sign. Because we are basically undermining his giant, his pretty big center. And if we can get him to take, he has double pawns. They are both really weak. We can get them back easily, and we're just completely fine. And if he doesn't take back, like what he did, D3, which is just defending that position, getting ready to move the bishop out, we can play. We still have a giant attack on the queen side. Our pawn structure is better. We're just more comfortable. White looks a bit scrambled, and yeah. So we play E6, the main move in this line, or one of the main moves in this line. Even though it's pinned and we can't take back immediately, we are getting it's vital to play this move because if we don't, our bishop on F8 is trapped, and if that bishop is trapped, we can never castle. And if we can't castle, it's really not good because our king's gonna be stuck in the center. Then you can castle and get a big attack on our king. And our goal is to finish development. So that's what we need to do. He played knight f3. He just ignoring the threat and developing because he knows that it's pinned. So we can't exactly take him. So we play bishop to e7. Developing a bishop, getting ready to castle, but but most important, we're stopping the pin. So now we are threatening e takes d5 and winning a pawn. So white basically has to capture because if not, we're just gonna destroy his entire center and then even be winning possibly. So e takes d, queen takes d. Even though we're down a pawn, we are not afraid to trade because because he has so many weak pawns, we can target them and win them. But he plays knight c3. He is really intent on winning more material, like taking on b5, which is not a good move. So he played the spectacular, the amazing castles. We ignore the threat on our b5 pawn. We ignore that our queen could get traded into an endgame, and we get our king safe. The reason this is such a good move is because if he ever does take the b5 pawn, we can get our knight, and we take back, and he takes with his knight. We can get our knight to d5 and then get our knight to b4, attacking everything in his position. And even if he trades queens, that's one less defender of his king, of all his pieces, which we can use to our advantage and just attack them all. So he's like, okay, looks like I'm get to trade to the end game. I'm just gonna be up a pawn. I can win a pawn on the next move, and I'm fine, right? So, oopsies. Just give you a little header there. So yeah, we take back with the bishop, and he's like, oh yeah, I can win a pawn. We're like, okay, you can take that pawn, but that means that we can do a great move and get our knight to d5. Like we are basically trying to, like, our knight is strong. Like his pieces are undeveloped and terrible. His king's in the center. His bishop is undeveloped. His rook on a1 is doing absolutely nothing. His knight on b5 is misplaced. And our pieces, our bishops are defending vital pieces and can always get to and can always access great squares no matter whenever we need to. Our rooks can connect easily and attack the d3 pawn and put more pressure on the king. And yeah, so he's just trying to trade. He played bishop to g4 and bishop g5. Since he's up 2 pawns, he really wants to trade pieces and get rid of our strong pieces to stop our attack. So we play f6, kicking his bishop out of there and giving our own bishop on e6 an escape square. We also can still play knight to b4 on the next move and make this bishop on g5 have to move again, losing another tempo. And the more tempos that we get, the better. Because as they say, a pawn is worth 3 tempi. So if we're down 2 pawns, we got to be up 6 tempi. And we kind of are. Because like we got our rooks connected, our bishops are active, our knights are active, our knight is active, and we have lots of pressure. So he moves his bishop back e6, e3. He's just trying to attack the c5 pawn. Not a very important threat because he's not really doing anything. So we play rook on f to b8. We are making his knight move. We're gonna win one of the pawns back with pressure on the second rank, attacking the a2 pawn, getting ready to play knight to b4, and then we can play bishop f4 and bishop f5. We can always just play rook on a to d8, and we can pressure all of his pieces, and it looks like a really good position. So he plays knight c3, and we just take that. We are not winning here, but we are slightly better with lots of chances. So that is an amazing thing to do in this opening. So yeah, we are just basically attacking everything. So this knight's weak. This knight isn't exactly doing anything. This bishop is biting on rock. We have chances to play knight to b4. We can always play bishop f5. We can put more pressure on this pawn here, or we can play rook here, just like trying to attack the weak pawn on d3, which is extremely weak. King's in the center. Our rook is attacking the entire 7th rank, and so he can't really put anything there. And we're just completely winning. Like white pieces are misplaced and doing terrible. He hasn't even connected his rooks yet. and we're in our case completely fine, and we have lots of activity for the pawn to be sacrificed. Well, that's it, folks. See you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace, 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 peace. Peace out.